Happy Monday, everyone. This is Crypto and Coffee with the Trading Bros, and I'm your host, Clutch Crypto.
And I'm B Wellington.
We're
What's
going to
going on,
dive into
people?
the charts real quick because we're a little late and just see what the is going on.
Let me grab the screen here. All right, can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Should be coming here soon.
Coming soon to a screen near you.
Yeah or nay?
Yeah. Can you hear me? Hmm.
Yes or no?
Yes, we're good now.
Okay. I think just on a side note, I think I'm gonna have to move where the router is because or the modem is because I think being in this room may slow it down a little bit. But I'll get that. I'll do that because I think I was having some issues last night too. So anyway, here we go. We're on the daily chart on ETH USDT. You can see that we've broken out of this downward trend. So we have officially broken out of that. The expectation is that we come back, test the 50 on the daily, and then continue on if this is going to break out. If this is the continuation of the bull market, personally, I don't believe so. But the market doesn't care what I believe. It's going to do what it's going to do. So,
Boom.
we've got we've had this W formation. It's been on this trend line, on this daily trend line here, and so we've had some large vector candles that have come out on the daily. We haven't seen vectors on the daily in a while, and all of a sudden we have two. So that does lead me to believe that this may be the start. Outside of the fact that there's a declining volume here, it's not increasing. And so if we had increasing volume, then I could say, oh man, really looks like we're starting to move to the upside, um, and we are. But if you compare what the volume looks like on the upside versus the volume when we came cascading down, we still haven't gotten into those particular areas. So my thesis relative to um, this being a what we call a bull trap, is still valid. But we'll see because there's also other things on the chart that would say otherwise. So as we had talked about the other day, we broke out of this zone. This was the flag that was happening, so we just kept that in there. This is the area of interest that I've had on here the whole time. So we kind of got up there and peaked a little bit into this area, which is the upside. It's a low volume node. It's also the upside of the peak, the next peak that we have. So the fact that we can get all the way up to this peak a little bit, would lead me to believe that we wouldn't continue up. But we've had to retrace. We had a W in that retrace, and this is on the hourly. And so when we get back into these areas, I'll be looking to see how we react. If we break through this area with some strength, then I think we're going to head all the way up to the upside, meaning I think we have, 30, our next peak is going to be up here into these 30, 31, 3,200 areas. So I'll be looking at that if we break through this area, but this is going to be key. The fact that we're pumping and it's on a Monday, and we all know that a lot of the false moves happen on Monday, that also is a bit concerning, but we'll take it in stride. But I'll be looking here uh, in that area on the peaks, which right now is about 29.89, so 3,000. I'm looking at as a area of resistance. If we can go down to the 1 minute, let's go to the 5 minute actually, just to kind of give you an idea. I think the beginning of this move now, I think we'll continue to have it. I think there's a lot of people that are going to be on board
Yeah, we got some
with
higher high. We're making new higher highs on this little breakout
yeah.
of
So
this
this
W.
so this again, I want to see how we react up in this area. Even if we do get to this area, this would be that next peak. So area of interest would be breaking this peak, and then the other area of interest would be then this area here. where this dotted line is, which is 30.45. So we'll see. That's also a high ADR as well. So we could kind of get up here at last week's high and pull back. Um, I don't anticipate that we'll break out from that, but it's quite a possibility. We'll see. Just other things that we look at real quick on these particular charts are things like, I don't know if this is going to pull up. I tried to refresh this earlier. So let's just look at the basics, which are going to be the 1 hour on Coin Analyze. Refresh that. And, just looking at it, 6.8 billion, they've built up about, billion 3, billion 5 in the last, few weeks. So OI is building, so, and it looks like there's some longs on board, given the fact that, as this moves up, this has been moving up. And because we've taken out so many shorts in the earlier part of this move, I would imagine that longs are probably getting on board on this end. So other things that are happening, we've got some news. Well, let's just look at the stock market real quick. Let me refresh that. Again, stocks are up. This does says futures, but apparently the market is open. But we're up across the board. Not too sure why, other than we did have some down days last week, and so there may be some catch up there. If we look at the calendar, we've got really a slow week as it relates to news. So Wednesday we've got Powell speaks on digital challenges. That's going to be directly related to crypto, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we may have some area and some movement on this particular day. And then on Thursday, initial jobless claims. Again, these are all markers of the macro environment that we're in. And so let's get into that and see Thursday and Wednesday and Thursday, how the markets react to some of the news that's coming out. So that's all I got on my end.
Oh, let's slide over here and
Let's
check this
throw it
out.
over to Dick. See what old bookie map is talking about. Some high block.
There we go. Can you see? Can you see it?
I can see you now. I can see clearly now.
Okay, let me update this real quick. Make sure everything's good. Wow, this is taking a long time.
Look, while you're, I was able to go out and find me a nice little mug here, so we have an official crypto
that's cool.
face mug that
The crypto face.
well, not a crypto face as in crypto face, but a crypto-like face. Because after you get done trading, this is what you look like. You look like a dead man
Yeah, no shit.
with a.
You're ready to die sometimes. Anyway, the key limits of Delta liquidation levels for ETH, as you can see, they're starting to build back up to about 4 billion. We were last time on the show, we were down closer to the 3.6 billion. They are working their way back into these ranges, like we talked about last night on Keaton's Corner. Again, we got a big liquidation up here at 28 or 29.85, which is right up there in that area that B. Wellington was just talking about. We got to get there, and then we get to those areas and we break out to the upside. Then we kind of confirm that we will be going to the upside this week. We are filling up quite a few long liquidations as we're on this way up, so this may be a trap. So let's go over to Bookmap and see what Bookmap's going to tell us about this. How did I do that? Okay, here we go. Okay, good. As you can see, we got 29.50. We got a lot of orders here. We are starting to pick up kind of on the, we're working our way back down here. We're heavily weighted on the bottom. However, we do I mean, we got some really high CVD up here, 56,000. Again, 2950 is a point to break through here, or you got 2870, which is another big point to break to the downside. So those are the two key areas we're going to be paying close attention to see what happens as far as price movement. I do think if we break through one of these levels, we're going to be going. We will see a continuation out of that zone, whether that's up or down. So pay attention to those levels. And again, we still have a really nice wall up here at 3,000. But don't let that fool you, folks. I watched. This is 2,600 orders. I watched 8,000 orders last week get eaten up like it was, a fat kid eating some birthday cake. So we really.
Hey man, stay off of the fat kids, dog.
Yeah,
You
man.
gotta call them out like that.
Hey, well, it is what it is.
But it looks like we got a pretty good support and resistance kind of in that area. I mean, you've got, these red up and down. We've got, kind of these big orders. So, potentially could bounce within that range. But I see what you're saying. We're above the VWAP. Looks primed to move up for a little bit.
Yeah. So let's see what happens. I think it's just doing a small retrace right now to kind of shake out these longs that may win in. But again, I do think we're going to see probably some movements to the upside today.
All right. Well, since we've been a little late,
Ladies and
you gotta
gentlemen,
go.
that's all we had. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Until next time, AM